Welcome to our deep dive into one of history's most fascinating figures, Ramses II. Often celebrated as a great pharaoh of ancient Egypt, Ramses II, also known as Ramses the Great, ruled for an impressive 66 years, leaving behind monumental architecture and a legacy of military prowess. However, beneath this heroic facade lies a darker side that challenges the traditional narrative of his greatness. In this video, we'll explore the complexities of Ramses II's legacy, examining both his achievements and the moral ambiguities of his reign. Join us as we unravel the enigma of Ramses II, a historical hero with shadows lurking in his past. Ramses II ascended to the throne at a young age, quickly establishing himself as a formidable leader through a series of military conquests. His campaigns against the Hittites and Nubians not only expanded Egypt's territory, but also solidified his reputation as a warrior king. In addition to his military successes, Ramses II is renowned for his architectural achievements, including the magnificent temples at Abu Simbel and the Grand Ramesseum. These monumental structures symbolize the power and glory of his reign, which significantly shaped ancient Egypt's history. Yet, this duality of his image as both a revered hero and a ruthless tyrant invites us to question the true nature of his legacy. Picture this. The year is 1278 BC. The mighty pharaoh Ramses II reigns over Egypt, but a deadly threat looms over the Mediterranean. Ruthless sea raiders, the Sherdon pirates, strike fear into the hearts of traders and sailors. They pillage, plunder, and disappear into the vast blue abyss. But Ramses is no ordinary ruler. He's about to turn the tide and teach these invaders a lesson they'll never forget. They weren't just pirates. They were warriors, fearless and battle-hardened. Their horned helmets and massive Naue-2 swords made them a terrifying sight. They attacked with precision, seizing cargo and cutting down anyone who dared resist. But this time, the hunter would become the hunted. Ramses, a military genius, had a plan. Instead of chasing these elusive raiders across the sea, he set a trap. Egyptian warships and soldiers lay in wait at key coastal points, disguised as vulnerable merchant vessels. The pirates, believing they had found easy prey, took the bait. As the Sherdon closed in, Egyptian forces struck like a cobra. Arrows rained down, ships collided, swords clashed. Chaos erupted. The pirates had fallen straight into Ramses's net. One by one, they were captured. The mighty sea raiders were no more. The victory was total. But here's the twist. Ramses didn't just execute these fearsome warriors. He made them an offer: serve Egypt or perish. And many Sherdon, seeing the power of the pharaoh, swore loyalty. Soon, these once feared pirates stood guard over Ramses himself, their swords now protecting the man who had once been their greatest enemy. The Sherdon would go on to fight in some of Egypt's greatest battles, including the legendary Battle of Kadesh. From feared raiders to elite warriors of the pharaoh, their story is one of survival, strategy, and unexpected alliances. It was a time of war. The pharaoh of Egypt, Ramses II, stood on the brink of history, facing an enemy that would test his power like never before. His ambition? To expand Egypt's dominance beyond Canaan and into the heart of Syria. But the Hittites had other plans. This is the story of the epic Syrian campaigns. In the fourth year of his reign, Ramses launched his first campaign into Syria, determined to bring the rebellious Hittite vassal states under his control. His first target? The kingdom of Amurru. The Egyptians struck hard, capturing the region and sending a clear message: Pharaoh was coming. But this was only the beginning. The Hittites, led by the cunning king Muwatalli II, were not about to let Egypt advance without a fight. The following year, Ramses gathered his forces for what would become one of the most famous battles in ancient history, the Battle of Kadesh. Ramses, confident in his might, led his troops deep into Hittite territory. But unknown to him, he was walking into a deadly trap. The Hittites, lying in wait, unleashed a devastating ambush, sending their chariots thundering into the Egyptian ranks. Chaos erupted. Ramses found himself surrounded, his army crumbling. But the pharaoh was not one to fall so easily. In the face of annihilation, he led a desperate counterattack. His personal guard, the elite warriors of Egypt, fought with relentless fury. Reinforcements arrived just in time, and the Hittites were driven back. Ramses had survived the trap, but Kadesh remained in enemy hands. The war was far from over. In the years that followed, Ramses returned to Syria again and again. He battled the rebellious Canaanite princes, crushed the Shasu tribes, and even stormed the fortress of Dapur in Amurru. His forces pushed as far north as Tunip, a city not seen by an Egyptian army in over a century. His sons, still young but already warriors, fought at his side. But despite these victories, the Hittites refused to break. After years of bloody conflict, both sides knew they could not win outright. And so, in the 21st year of Ramses's reign, something unprecedented happened: a peace treaty. The Egyptian-Hittite Treaty of Kadesh, the first recorded peace treaty in history, brought an end to the war. Ramses had secured his legacy, proving Egypt's strength, but at a cost paid in blood. The Syrian campaigns were a testament to the ambition, resilience, and tactical genius of Ramses II. Though the battlefields have long since faded into dust, the echoes of his conquests still shape our understanding of ancient warfare. In the golden age of ancient Egypt, a young and ambitious pharaoh set his sights on the lands to the south. Ramses II, the Great, would not only defend his empire, but expand it deep into Nubia, the land of gold and warriors. This is the story of the Nubian campaigns. The Nubians had long been a part of Egypt's empire, but maintaining control was no easy task. The southern lands were rich in gold, and its warriors were fierce. Even as a young prince, Ramses knew that Nubia had to remain under Egyptian rule. And so, at the age of 22, he rode to war, leading his armies into battle. The Nubians fought bravely, their archers raining deadly arrows down upon the Egyptian ranks. But Ramses was relentless. His strategy was swift and brutal. Charging ahead in his war chariot, he smashed through the enemy lines. By his side, his sons, Amun-Herkhepeshef and Khaemwaset, barely more than boys, proved themselves in battle. One by one, the rebellious Nubian tribes fell. The pharaoh pushed deeper into their lands, crushing any resistance. At Beit el-Wali, Gerf Hussein, and Kalabsha, he built grand temples carved into the rock to remind all who ruled here. These temples weren't just monuments, they were symbols of absolute power. But the Nubian campaigns were more than just war and conquest. They secured Egypt's wealth, trade routes, and dominance for generations to come. Nubia would remain under Egyptian control for centuries, its gold fueling the empire's grandeur. Ramses II, the warrior, the builder, the conqueror. His campaigns in Nubia solidified his legacy as one of Egypt's greatest rulers. And though the battles are long over, the echoes of his victories still whisper through the sands of time. Beyond the sands of Egypt, fierce warriors lurked, threatening the empire's western borders. The Libyans, nomadic, battle-hardened, and relentless. But Egypt had a warrior of its own, Ramses II, a pharaoh who would not allow his land to be threatened. This is the story of his Libyan campaigns. For years, the Libyan tribes had tested Egypt's might, launching raids into the western territories. They were fast, striking from the desert before vanishing into the sands. But Ramses was not a pharaoh to be caught unprepared. He had learned from his father, Seti I, who had fought the Libyans before him. Now it was Ramses' turn to end the threat once and for all. The great pharaoh knew that brute force alone would not be enough. He needed a strategy. So he built a chain of fortresses along the western frontier, stretching from the Nile Delta to the Mediterranean coast. These fortresses weren't just defenses. They were a statement, a warning. The Libyans, undeterred, continued their incursions. But this time, Ramses was ready. His spies reported their movements, and as the Libyans closed in, the trap was set. With a mighty war cry, the Egyptian chariots thundered across the battlefield, striking with precision and force. The battle was swift and brutal. The Libyans fought fiercely, but they were no match for Egypt's disciplined warriors. Ramses crushed them, forcing their leaders to flee. Those who survived were captured, their weapons seized, their threat extinguished. Ramses did not just defeat the Libyans, he secured Egypt's western borders for generations. The fortresses he built ensured that the Libyans would never again threaten the empire.